Good evening, this is the Raleigh Board of Water Department. December 16th, it's 6:07. 2 members present, Stu Dazzell, Roy Rickard. Accept and approve the minutes of the December 2nd meeting. Have you read them, Stu?
I have no problem. I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Second it.
December 2nd.
Just give it to.
We have an appointment.
Going for vote on the minutes.
What's that?
Vote on the minutes. I made a motion, you second.
Yeah, all in favor.
Aye.
Appointment with Jonathan Carey for an interview for the wastewater treatment operator.
Stand, Jonathan.
That was a
Have a seat, Bill. I have a question for you, Jonathan.
Sure.
With your education, why do you want to work for the water department?
I think eventually in my meeting with Mary Beth, she said that her goal is to promote from within the organization as the water department's growing. And I hope it's not too forward, but I told her one day I'd like to have her job. I'm looking for an opportunity for growth, looking for a home, and looking for something that I can not only work with my mind, but also with my hands.
If you were hired, when would you be able to start?
I can start with 2 weeks professional notice, and sooner I'm able to be released sooner than that.
I would just like to mention your education. Hobart William Smith, Geneva, New York, University of Mass, Stirling University in Scotland, Oxford University for a year, St. John's Prep in Danvers. This is a labor position. Can you just explain why you want the position? Did you went to these schools, did you get a degree?
I did not complete a degree.
Boy, do you have any questions?
I can't find what I have this. Can you update the board on the status requiring your CDL-B and treatment and distribution licenses?
My CDLB, I passed my permit test. I just need to take my road test. I passed that in the air brakes since I met with Mary Beth. I've been in contact with NEWA and have books on order for the T1 and D1, and those are being sent to me, study materials, and then as soon as I have an opportunity to study, I can take those exams.
Now, when would be the earliest that you'd be able to take a test on that?
As soon as I feel prepared. They're not scheduling tests anymore. It's on a walk-in basis at, I believe it's ADP.
Is it something they do every month, or is it just?
Yeah, every month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I have nothing else, and if you don't, do you have anything else?
No?
I'll make a motion that we hire Jonathan right now.
You don't want to talk to Mary Beth and see what she's done over with?
She's interviewed Jonathan.
Right, but I mean, what I'm saying is, you know, to see what I haven't talked to her, to see what she's had to say.
This young man is a go-getter.
Well, I realize that, and I have no problem, it's just, you know what I'm saying, I'm not the one who's gonna be working with him every day with him. I'd like to say it's hold off until the next meeting.
I'm here to do business, not dilly-dally.
That's just my feeling.
There's a fine young man here.
I realize that, but we haven't talked to our superintendent. I haven't got no feedback from him.
She's talking to Jonathan, or he wouldn't be here. She's discussed, you correct me if I'm wrong, Jonathan, Mary Beth has discussed the CDO with you.
She did.
No, I'll second it. I thought we should talk to her. All those in favor?
I made the motion, you seconded it. Aye.
Thanks.
Congratulations, John.
Thank you. So should I anticipate hearing from Mary Beth and,
Excuse me?
should I anticipate hearing from Mary Beth and about follow-up as far as how she wants to proceed?
I'm sure you'll be an asset to the water department.
Thank you. All set, gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good one.
Have a good evening.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I'll put with you.
Budget update, we have that in front of us.
Excuse me?
The budget update, we have that in front of us.
I think that young man will be a fine asset.
The only thing I have on this is this thing here for the budget. I'm not sure how you want to read that. It's the operating budget.
Mr. Chairman, I have, as a result of last night's meeting, I have a little bit of budget information if you would like to hear.
Yep, that's what we're on next, and, but we're trying to find the information because nobody left us anything.
According to the water department, the increase over the last three fiscal years, as of 11/30 of each, as of November 30th on each of the last 3 years, on 11/30/2013, the uncollected bills was $26,029.30. As of 11/30/2014, that's the unexpected, I think you got the wrong information, I think it's 2012, I think it's as of 2012, the number was 26,029 as of 11/30/2012. As of 11/30/2013, the, I'm sorry, yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. I'm looking at FY versus, so as of 11/30/2013, the outstanding bills it jumped from 26,000 to $94,423.68 for that same period. The previous
429?
423, 94,423.68, jumped up 70 odd thousand over that period. And then for FY 2015, the current year, as of 11/30/14, that number is 106,540. So that it's obviously some issues with revenues coming in. So that's comparing the 3 years as of the same date. So there's obviously some budget,
Well, you
some
take
payment
the
issues.
first one, we were still into the quarterlies before we got into the monthly billing.
Yeah, these are just rough
say it's
figures.
drastically gone up with the,
Yeah, in other words, it's the last 2 years, so this year is actually more or less the same small increase, or an increase from last year, but the trend is obviously concerning in terms of outstanding bills.
A few years back, there was a policy, about September, they notified people in arrears. And they put a pink notice on the door. They would shut the water off in October, if they were still in arrears. Because you can't shut it off between November and April. Why did that policy stop?
I don't think we had help to follow it out, or nobody followed it up.
Okay.
After talking to the selectmen last night, I do agree on setting it up the same as the light department, which is 90 days, correct? Regardless if it's 300 or 500 or whatever, do away with the 500.
They were 6 in arrears, Bob Snow, from the selectmen. There were 9 people in arrears,
No,
120 days over at the election.
you were saying last night the way the light department is, it's 90 days, there's no amount on it.
I believe that's what you said.
What I'm saying is I'd like to set up the water department the same as the light department is. So it's, if it's 60 days or 90 days, whichever it is, and do away with the $500 amount.
Yes,
And make it the same as the light department is what I'm saying.
Go on days.
Go on days instead of money.
I agree.
You wanna make a motion that we change it from,
now, there has been, Mr. Chairman, there has been a change. As Selectman Peterson said, so far, last night I quoted, I was quoted a figure of $160,000 that we were in arrears, and now we're down to 106, so $54,000, I take it, came in the month of November in payments, but we're still $106,540.50 behind. And that's still
Substantial.
substantial, especially when you have to, fund the water department. So I'm very concerned that, about the department right now and the direction it's headed. In the last 2 years, I mean, we're almost where we were last year at this time.
What do you want to do?
well, I'd like to change it from the 500.
I understand that, but I mean, how many days?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I have an issue. I feel that you as chairman are in conflict of interest to even be discussing this. It's the bills we got at the beginning of November show that your bill was in substantial arrears. Therefore, it's a conflict of interest for you to be voting on.
I've caught mine up though. I'm back up.
So you owe nothing now?
I don't know, I still owe some, yes, but
I mean, that's the problem. In other words, is for you to be voting on how to handle liens and shut-offs, and at that time, the bill over 60 days was $443, and then you set the lien at 500, which presents an issue.
Well,
And I
the
think-
$500 has been in there since I've been on the
Well,
board.
it doesn't matter. You guys voted the vote, and you put yourself in a little bit of a quagmire here, and I would recommend that tonight, you can certainly seek an opinion from the Ethics Commission, but I would be very careful and set this aside, and you can recuse yourself. I mean, if you recuse yourself tonight, I mean, you can go ahead and vote and then let the Ethics Commission come back and say whether you're right or wrong, or you can set the issue aside for tonight and wait for 2 other members. In the meantime, you can call the Ethics Commission and we have a serious situation here of excessive numbers of bills, and if you're one of those people,
Yeah, but what I'm saying
it makes
is
for
I
definitely conflict.
paid half of that off.
Well, so that means you still owe 200 and something. So I mean, the issue, Roy, is that as far as I'm concerned, And I think most taxpayers are concerned that, you know, the water board, as the light board or anybody else, should be up to date on their payments to be, before they're making decisions on what other people are paying or how other people are punished if they don't.
Then forget this tonight and we'll move on to the next one.
Thank you, sir.
Public information request by Tim Tilney is next on the schedule. You have the oath? Yeah,
They're looking for.
the thing for Tim. We have information he wants.
Table. Table.
Table. All right, we're gonna table that for the next meeting. Update and liens is the next thing. And we're gonna close the vote on that, so we're gonna put that on hold too, correct?
Yes.
Pingree,
I have one question on this. We don't have to vote on it. I can discuss it. I just want to bring this up. What I'm talking about, how many days, 60 days or 90 days before the water is shut off. We don't take a vote, I just want,
no, I was just saying, I'd like to do the same as the light pattern, so we're both in sync. The way I feel. If it's 60, if it's 90, whichever it is.
right.
Pingree, Farm Road grading update.
I make a motion that, we award the contract, to supply and install, materials, 8 triaxle loads, natural 1.5 inch and compact. In other words, to straighten out the road up there, it's a mess. And there's a price here for $5,400. I'll make a motion that we approve that.
I will second that with one stipulation, that we check with Debbie Egan and just make sure that we don't have to pay the prevailing wage.
Here's a gentleman,
I'm just saying,
here's a
No,
gentleman.
he will pay that includes the prevailing wage rate. He has to pay the prevailing wage, he said he would.
he told Mary Beth that he didn't have to, because he was exempt.
That's his bill, he will, when he sends his bill in, he will certify that he's paid the prevailing wage rate. That's his responsibility.
Excuse me.
Our responsibility is to make sure he has the rates, and then his is to,
If he's doing it himself, he does not have to pay himself the prevailing wage. Let's ask,
okay.
Mr. Roy.
Yeah, I mean, that's my understanding as well. I mean, if he doesn't have employees doing the work, and he's doing it himself, then he doesn't have to.
I just like a letter from Debbie saying that, and it's okay. I have no problem awarding this tonight.
I want to award this tonight. I want the.
I do too, if she okays it.
She's okay, in talking with her, she's okay.
That was the bid, the emergency.
I realize that's
They
the way-
have to bottom out. An emergency, they have to get in there. The road has to be accessible. And that's a fair price.
No, I'll second it on As long as it's okay with her, then.
Voted with a stipulation, I think, that would be the,
No, it's just, I don't want to get thrown under the bus again.
Okay, all right, Roy, calm down. We'll award this right now to be done. Contingent on the fact,
It's okay by Administrative
Ms.
Assistant.
Egan,
All those in favor?
aye.
Water treatment plant update, we had that last night. I don't have anything else in front of me, do you?
No,
So I'll put that on hold.
yes. I don't know how they're doing on the flushing.
The flushing as of last night was up to date, and it should be done on the 19th. That is what I was told last night. That's what the schedule, did they do your street today?
it was supposed to be Saunders and Weathersfield, and that part, section of Weathersfield and Greenhill today.
Did you see them out front, did it all today?
I saw the road wet, but I didn't see them, so I'm,
They got the schedule, I got the schedule here.
I think they will.
Today was the 16th, right? It's supposed to be Westfield, Bradford, Central, Bradford, Summit, Independent, Burke, Moorfield, Trilly, and Merrifield. The 17th, which is tomorrow, correct? Supposed to be Central, Bennett Hill, Maine, Plantation, Arbor Way, Hammond Street, School Street, and Pleasant Street. The 18th, which is Thursday, Cross Jellison, Warehouse, Ocean, Depot Way, and Railroad Ave. And the 19th, this is all 7:30 to 2:30, these hours. Friday the 19th, it's Kittery, Mansion, and Bowley Lane.
With a permit.
Right, with a permit. We all set with that?
Mr. Chairman, just a brief note from last night's meeting. As a result of the flushing, they've had a lot of extremely dirty water. It was cleaned out, as well as, and I don't, we didn't get a list, but they found a number of hydrants that were not working at all,
There's 7.
or the gate valves were not closing, so that they're gonna have to put antifreeze into those hydrants for the winter to keep them from
She
freezing.
got it,
So the number of hydrant issues that the flushing.
There's 7 hydrants, and she got a 55-gallon drum of that antifreeze you put in.
Will those hydrants have to be replaced?
Yes.
So that's something that you'll have to be attentive to when budgeting.
We was on a schedule to do 4 a year,
Right,
but we're gonna have to
right.
speed it up, I guess. It's in the 7.
Yeah, that'll be a budgetary,
She's got some hydrants out in the inventory, I don't know.
yeah, two, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you realize some of those hydrants are almost as old as I am?
Yeah.
That's old.
This is, under new business, 7476 Hammond Street. Is, Savage, they've been having problems with the water bill up there.
Way to handle this, Roy. Change the meter. If the meter's bad, change the meters on us. If the meters, we're just as accurate. The price to change the meters on them.
Okay.
We have to tighten up.
No, he had a plumber come in, I got a letter here.
We have to tighten up.
He's checked his whole house for a leak, and they can't find anything in the house.
I
So you
understand.
wanna make a motion to, change out the meter and see what happens?
We change out the meter. There's nothing wrong with it. The
Excuse me.
water's going somewhere if it's going through the meter. As the meters get older, the water flows slower, not faster.
Exactly.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
how much was the bill?
what it is on this one here is, it's been up and down. And, he's paid his bill every time. And it keeps spiking up, like one time it was 8,000, then went to 12. Then he was still in the 9s, and there's 3 people in the house. So he had a plumber come in and check the heat system, the washing machine, all the toilets, the sinks, everything that water's going to. And there was no leaks found whatsoever. And there's 3 people in the house, and it's, I mean, 12,000 gallons, that's an awful lot of water, and they're not home during the day. All they want is some direction from the water department of how they can move to try and straighten out this problem. He used to always have, like I think it was 5,000 average. And all of a sudden now his average is up over 8,000, and nothing has changed in the house. There's no sprinkler system, irrigation system, no pool or anything. So he'd like just to find out what is going on, why it's jumping up so much. It went down and then it jumped up $70-something the following month.
January of 2013, it was 8,700 gallons.
But he's been having a problem for, quite a while. It just keeps bouncing up and down,
The
up and
next
down.
month was 68, next month was 75, 72, 9,000, 74.
And we got one up here,
It's a steady history.
in October, it went to 12,130.
There's 1 month that went to 12,000, the next month it went right back down to what it normally was, so.
Right.
Whether they had a leak and it got repaired, I mean, it's,
No, he didn't have any leaks, but I had him come down and told him to come down and get the tablets for the toilets, which he did.
yeah, but the latest bill was back down again, so I mean, this is a one.
It was the last one.
It's a 1 month
before.
abnormality that, one of the current budget situation, I mean, if you wanna change.
So
up the
he wants to
meter,
have he wants to have the meter, seriously checked to see if there's something in the meter, which I can understand.
That's fine, I just hope you're not looking at giving them an abatement, that's all. It's-
No, what we're trying to do is find out what the problem is.
That's exactly why I suggested changing the meter.
There's only a 1 month abnormality, the rest of the month he's up.
He's been having a problem for over a year. Keeps bouncing up on him.
Take 15 minutes to change the meter. We have to tighten the reins up on abatements.
I mean, it goes except for that 1 month, it goes from 7,000 to 9,000, so I mean, that's, depends on who takes showers and how long these.
But what I'm saying is, he said it was always 5 before, and all of a sudden, the last year or better, it keeps bouncing up on him.
How long ago did they change it?
Well, this goes,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure when the meter was put in.
this printout goes back to January of 2013, so for almost 2 years, he's been averaging anywhere between, averaging 8,200
I know.
gallons a month.
I know.
So I'm not
At
sure
least
what
a
the
year he's
problem
been
is.
complaining.
If you run anybody's water bill, you're gonna see that they're gonna fluctuate from month to month, for whatever reason you can. But it doesn't seem to be a real problem, other than just check the meter and if you want,
So
it's
you made a
fine.
motion to change me on the second.
Yeah, if this meter went in to begin at 13, just for example,
Yep.
that brand new meter will run faster than the old one, because the old one slows down as it gets older. So, my motion, I'm making a motion, we change the meter up. And if, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, the meter could malfunction, they don't usually, but it's mechanical, anything can happen. And
So you made a motion to have him change the meter,
change the meter.
and I'll second that then. All in favor?
Aye. Just like the electric light bill, if you go on vacation, leave a couple lights on, you don't
Well,
go to the lake department, say my bill's up.
I'll do my other paper.
I think that's up there, so change the meter up, see what happens. That's just my opinion.
The heater in the garage out here
Yeah, looks metal.
is, I guess they found it was, connection was duct tape, and they had to come in. And we don't, she didn't leave us any of that paperwork either. Or what the prices were for it. But they came and she had, all the, heaters checked for leaks, for, carbon monoxide. At the substations in here, which was leaking here. So, probably all we can do is, bring that up at another topic, what the price was. It was, fixed, because it was an emergency, there was no heater.
It's all repaired,
It's
right?
repaired,
So it's a blow.
so you don't have to make no motion or nothing, huh?
That's another thing, it's emergency.
Right.
But
No, it had to be
things can't
fixed.
wait. Right, exactly.
Wasteline disposal, you know anything about that one?
Excuse me?
You know anything about the wasteline disposal?
No, I don't.
Put that on hold then. There's nothing on here that she left for that. Per usual. Do you want to put that on hold?
Yeah.
I don't have the paperwork on this here. I know that they took tests up there and they found it high, and they were notified, so I can tell you on that.
The next meeting,
January 13th.
yeah, I'll come asking to put this rubbish on the agenda. They've been putting out far too much trash for the rubbish man, so I'm told. We had a dumpster here a month or two ago. It's just gone.
That was to clean up the backyard.
All right.
That was
Why
for
didn't-
regular rubbish. It was-
Yeah, but like chairs and so forth, why didn't they go, I'm told with chairs, why didn't they go in the dumpster?
I thought they did.
What I'm saying, if they put out more than four bags a week, and what I wanna know is, are they bringing down the rubbish from the treatment plant down here?
I saw a pickup today that had rubbish in the back of it coming down Havel Street. so-
All right, so what I'm saying, the rubbish man should get paid for it. 2 stops.
So you want that on the schedule for next?
Yes, I do. In all fairness, they're bringing down something from the new plant down
Yep.
here.
Okay,
That's all we got, you know.
anything else, Stu? Yes, Bob?
Mr. Chairman, could you tell me the procedures, when somebody has a problem with a water bill, okay, how is it handled?
Each one's an individual case.
Why is
They
there-
come in and say what the problem is,
There's a set procedure on how?
well, we go out and do, the,
That'll.
data log.
Is it,
They have, another thing is they pick it up with a,
are they all handled the same way?
yeah.
Are they all handled, they come?
It's individual cases, but I mean, depending on what they have for a problem.
Okay, so in other words, they would call in to the water department, okay, and say they have a
Yeah, isn't
problem.
it Pennachuck? Don't they have to go to
They call.
Pennachuck?
Well, some call here, some call up there.
Okay.
It's kind of confusing for the people. They haven't got used to calling the 800 number that they call
I
there.
thought they used to do that,
And so, well, let's take, for instance, Hammond Street. Was that handled, was that go to Pennachuck? And then,
He had a problem with Pennachuck, so he started working out of here.
what was the
And
problem?
Mary Beth took care of the situation up there.
What was wrong with Pennachuck?
We kept getting a runaround, nobody wanted to answer, and come to find out they were training a bunch of new people, temps, And she talked to Tara, I think it is, and Tara took care of the situation.
Okay.
There was some new temps that they weren't being, we had more than one complaint over the situation up there, but it was all because they were hiring new temp people and breaking them in and filling them in. And they weren't, people were used to working with people like that, but it was.
Okay.
But it's been taken care of in the last month or so.
But my wife pays all water bills with one check, with two water bills. So they send a credit on one bill, she overpaid, then they said we didn't pay the second bill. Can't they look and see the two bills with the check there? Yeah.
Well, that happened.
She called up and it just to straighten it out, but they do.
Well, the one that we just talked about was the same thing. They had, they sent two checks, because there's two halves of the house. And Mary Beth figured she's the one that probably, when she reached in and pulled it out to write it down, threw the envelope away, and the other check was in there. Then they didn't want to give them the discount, even though she paid it, she had to reissue another check and stuff.
Anyways, what I was just looking at, there's a standard on how to
Yeah, they-
address a problem.
You know, they start off with calling here or Penachuk, and then if it's real serious and it ends up here, and then we go over and look what the situation is, and then make a, motion to have them go down and check it for a leak or for a meter or the data log, and go from there.
I disagree with this case by case. I've said from day one, it should be right across the board.
There is an abatement form that's available out in the hallway here.
But I mean, that's what we, somebody needs to
I
complain, we go over it.
know, but it should be right, everyone treated the same.
I realize that.
You need to file the abatement form, which you people have in the hall. That goes to Penachuk. Penachuk then makes a record of the complaint, so that there is a record all the way through. Then they forward it, I assume, to the water department here, who checks out the issue, and then it goes forward from there. And this form is supposed to be filed within 30 days after the bill is sent, so that, there is a procedure. There are forms, and that's what everybody should be doing, is filling out these forms. And the only way they can keep the records is they need to track all this stuff, so that if there's a complaint about non-compliance or the problem hasn't been taken care of, there needs to be a paper trail so that
Absolutely.
they can chase it down.
We have some stuff you can sign, but some of the stuff I don't know. Well, I mean, this one here, we should be able to, right?
I got a question, the gentleman, see you start in 2 weeks. What's that, the date, book? Just after the first of the year?
We get the calendar right here.
That's all right, Mary Beth will be talking to him.
Okay.
Would that be the 30th? Or the 29th?
Today's
16th?
16th. That would be the 30th. 2 weeks. You said 2, right?
Yes, he did.
Start the first year, or is it going to start the last week in December?
Mary Beth will be talking to him.
Yeah, I assume it'll be a Monday, whatever the
Right,
week.
so that'd be-
the
It would
Monday
make more
is.
sense to start the first, well, day after the holiday. Okay, this one's signed. We got some of these ones here to sign. The holding tanks and stuff up there. Quarterly monitoring, fire alarm, water treatment plant.
We just signed one for this guy.
And this is again, they're gonna empty that, they're gonna empty that up there, I think it's every week or every other week. That holding tank. This bill's right here.
What's this 3,300 to Rose for?
I don't know, that's the one I was telling you about when I went through it, yeah. This is all the slopes right here. Right here.
Various receipts.
But I can't pick up off on the slopes
Okay.
exactly what it is, so. And then you have a description on the slopes.
Why is this Lowe's at Tilton, New Hampshire?
I have no idea. I saw some, it was a bunch of wrenches, but other than that, I couldn't really understand what some of the other stuff was. But it only goes up to end, it doesn't go any farther than another sheet. I think there should be another sheet where we work. That's it.
Val Marine stuff's so big. places.
Should be a couple of them, we get one in each plant.
Yeah.
I think that was for the Ford. One of them picked up oil leak, plus the Ranger went in. Had a bunch of things that was wrong with it, safety things.
Was
Not
that
wrong.
damage flow meter insurance, 2723, 1,000 deductible. Oh, by the way, you'll go last December. The ball got dropped on that hydrant up Havel Street, I never heard it. Remember, was going to court.
I don't know if they ever went to court or not, I haven't heard it. I know they went up a couple of times to the police department, and the guy had no insurance, but he had to go to court. Was that a clothing allowance? Didn't say who it was for. That would be a quote, must be for a woman. Didn't say
That's
who it was for.
a sweatshirt and that's boots.
Yeah, but did it say who it was for?
Yeah, rather gray.
No, it sent it out, now they're asking us to sign it.
6,000 gallons for a drum of antifreeze.
Yeah. It's a special antifreeze.
Cool lid.
Yeah. That's cool, that's all. Have anything else?
No.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Any of you folks have questions? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.